All right, let's jump right in. We often think of the Quran as a history book, right? A collection of stories from way back when. But what if that's, well, not the whole picture? Today, we're diving into a really fascinating way of looking at it, not as a static text, but as a living, eternal blueprint, kind of like the source code for reality itself.
And this quote right here, this is the key that unlocks everything. The idea is we're not just looking back at something that happened. We're actually plugging into a system that's happening right now. The Quran, from this perspective, describes a timeless, dynamic process. So think of it less like a history book and more like a user manual for the cosmos.
So, if it's a code, where does it start? Well, like any good program, it begins with the most fundamental operation you can have, a binary split. You take a single origin point and you divide it into two opposing forces. This primal split, this duality, is what sets the entire cosmic drama in motion. And here's exactly how that cosmic code gets written. From just one soul, creation splits into two, Adam and Iblis. Adam, he's a mix of light and earth, and he represents the path of return, of fulfilling a divine trust. On the flip side, you've got Iblis, made from pure fire. He embodies the path of separation, driven by pride. Now, these aren't just characters in a story. They are the foundational 1 and 0 of this cosmic operating system.
Okay, so this framework then lays out three fundamental forces. You have water, which is the archetype of mercy, and it's associated with the Torah. Then there's fire, the force of command and trial, embodied by Iblis. And finally, light, which represents knowledge and pure consciousness, and that's linked to the Injil, or the Gospel. So where does the Quran fit in? It's seen as the final word, the one that brings it all together, creating this perfect balance between the mercy of water and the knowledge of light.
So, we've got the code and its core elements. The big question is, how does this program actually run? Well, according to this framework, it unfolds through a series of repeating cycles, or what you could call cosmic resurrections. These are major resets where these forces, water, fire, and light, play out through the stories of the prophets. The engine driving these cycles is the respite that Iblis is granted to carry out his test, and it happens in three major phases. The first respite kicks off a test of water and mercy. The second one ups the ante to a test of fire and revelation. And the final one, which this framework suggests we're in right now, is the ultimate test of pride and illusion, where the lines of Adam and Iblis are both tested together. Let's break down this first trial, the trial of water. The key idea here is all about refuge. See, Noah's son, he relies on a physical mountain, a false refuge, and what happens? He's consumed by the very water he's trying to escape. It's a symbol of a soul lost to pride. But then you have Yunus. He's trapped in total darkness, and he turns to the only true refuge, God. And he is delivered by that same element, water, but this time as an act of pure mercy. It's a beautiful contrast. And the result of this whole first cosmic cycle, it's a spiritual rebirth. It creates an archetype, the Ahmed of water, a kind of symbolic name for the soul that has passed the test of mercy and has been completely reborn and purified by it. Now, in the second respite, the test shifts to fire. But this isn't just about destruction, it's about command and revelation. For Ibrahim, the literal fire of tyranny is commanded to become cool and peaceful. For Maryam, the inner fire of pain during labor is soothed by a divine voice telling her not to grieve. And for Musa, a burning tree becomes the source of divine light, a revelation on the mountain. You see the pattern, right? Divine command steps in, tames this chaotic fire, and transforms it into guidance. And the outcome of this second trial gives us another spiritual archetype, the Musa of fire. This is a soul that's been forged not just by mercy, but by a direct, transformative, divine command. So this brings us to the final reset, our time. The test here isn't about raw elements like water or fire anymore. It's about something way more subtle, illusion. After Solomon's death, the unseen forces he commanded are basically let loose. Shaytan now rules, not through obvious force, but through what the Quran calls Taghut, which is the grand illusion of worldly power, status, and pride, all symbolized by Solomon's now empty throne. And in this final test, both cosmic lines get tangled up and tested together. And here's the real secret to this final test. At the very end of it all, Shaytan himself is said to confess the true nature of his power. And what was it? It was never authority. It was never force.
It was just an invitation, a whisper. The power was always in how we responded. That's the heart of the trial of illusion, learning to tell the difference between the divine call and that seductive whisper. So, we've looked at the pieces, the primal split, the cosmic forces, these repeating cycles. Now let's put it all together. This framework says that when you do, a master pattern emerges, a single, elegant formula that connects everything. It's called the final Möbius loop. And there it is. Simple, powerful, and it just keeps going. A respite is given, which creates the space for a test. A trial unfolds using one of those cosmic forces. A spiritual resurrection happens for those who pass. And then finally, a return to the divine source. This pattern just repeats over and over again, not just on a cosmic scale, but on a personal one too. This table just maps it out brilliantly. You've got the two primal paths running through the cycle. The fire line of Iblis, that's a story of refusal, loss, and separation. The water line of Adam, that's one of trial, return, and union. But look at that last column, unity. That's the most important part. It shows that both paths, as opposite as they seem, are part of the same divine system. Both are here to test our will, both are pathways for the soul, and both, in the end, fulfill the divine command. And then this framework adds this really fascinating twist to the role of Iblis. The idea is he wasn't just some simple villain. He was a jinn, chosen as a vessel, maybe not even aware of the grander divine plan he was a part of. He becomes this necessary instrument for the trial. And get this, the theory suggests that the fire of his pride is ultimately tamed by the endurance and the pain of the great mothers of the Qur'an, Asiya, Maryam, and the mother of Musa. It totally reframes his role from just an antagonist to a necessary part of the cosmic balance. So why does any of this even matter? I mean, it's a cool theory, but what's the point? Well, this grand cosmic pattern isn't just about prophets and angels. The final and most important stage of this framework is all about bringing it home. It's about how this entire blueprint finds its ultimate completion inside of you. And that is the question this whole thing has been leading to. This isn't just ancient history. It's a map of your own soul. That struggle between the fire of pride and the water of mercy, between the illusion of the self and the reality of God, that entire cosmic drama is playing out inside your own consciousness, right here, right now. And here's how that loop finally closes, but on the inside. The fire of our own ego gets purified. The water of divine mercy is accepted through repentance. The light of true knowledge is restored. And in that moment, the soul completes the cycle and returns, finally aligning with its original purpose. So here's the ultimate takeaway, the real kicker. The reader of the Quran is not meant to be a passive observer. You are the meeting point. You are where this entire cosmic circuit completes. You are the one who can feel the burning trial of Ibrahim's fire and the cooling mercy given to Maryam, all in the same breath. The entire story finds its living, breathing resolution right in the awakened human heart. And we end with the ultimate command that powers this whole system. In Arabic, kun, fayakun, be, and it is. This isn't a command that was just given once, at the beginning of time. According to this view, it is the continuous, creative word that is speaking reality into existence moment by moment. And that leaves us with one last profound thought. What if the universe isn't just a thing, but a living, breathing sentence still being spoken?